everyone! How's it going? Brandy's back with a camera!
I don't know where my hand is.
Yeah, aw.
I was like over here, and it should have been over here.
I have it on widescreen, which is hilarious because I have like a 7-foot wide green screen behind me. So, but yes, no, it's amazing to see you again. It's amazing to see everyone out there.
Yeah.
William popping in saying hello and is still kind of here. That's awesome. We love to see it. And we're finally, oh, I didn't put my phone on vibrate. Naughty,
How rude.
naughty, rule of podcasting. No, this week we are talking about City of Walls and Secrets, and in a surprise twist, we're doing 2 episodes back to back, week to week. How about that?
I know, it's insane. Like, I feel like maybe you all should buy a lotto ticket and maybe just win 50 cents. Like,
Honestly, what was it like? The Powerball's back up to over $500 million. So there you go. So you got 2 numbers there. Book 2, 14. I think we can make that work.
Yeah.
Well, Rapunzel is here and Shadowcat is back. How's it going, y'all? Oh, we have a fun episode in store for us because, like we alluded to last week, Brandi, you really like the end of this season.
Love this episode, and I know I say that every single week, but if I could properly express like how much, like, I don't know, like I love this episode so much. And it's all because of the way that it ends.
Really?
Like, the ending of this episode is so perfect, and just the emotions that just arise when Lon Fane is like giving his like little villain monologue. You're just like, oh.
It's so terrifying.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. But see, like you like this end of the season. I, as a kid, vehemently avoided it. I hated it because it was like scary to sheltered little Katie who didn't know the traumas of Doctor Who just yet. But no, so this time the rewatch, I watched it with the mindset of I'm gonna have to bring my thoughts to the table because I know Brandi knows this stuff.
Oh my god. So many thoughts.
Rapunzel says, my luck, I get struck by lightning on my way to buy the lotto ticket. Aw, if it makes you feel any better, you are way more likely to be struck by lightning multiple times than you are to actually win the lottery.
Facts with Katie.
Yeah. Fun facts with Katie. Oh my gosh, this episode's going to be amazing. I've been excited for it all day. It got me through work. Let's put it that way. It's, you know how difficult it is to be in Michigan and not have snow to forecast. You're just like,
you guys aren't getting snow this Wednesday?
We are getting snow this Wednesday, just not as much as you people are.
Oh, okay.
You Indiana folk.
It's called Hoosiers.
It's so funny because both my brother and I are from Michigan. Both of us went to school in Indiana. Like, I'm starting to see a trend here. Anywho,
you went to school kind of almost on the border. Like,
true. It was like Michigan, Indiana, Illinois.
Just be Michigan. Like,
yeah, the region doesn't count.
Yeah. If anything, I think Valpo wants to be in Michigan.
It really does. It truly does. It wants to be the bougie South Haven area. Oh, let's see. Okay. I don't think I've missed too many. Everyone's saying pleasantries in the chat, which is so nice to see. And we can just jump right into it if you're ready.
Let's go.
I'm the Weather Witch, says the host. I have t-shirts that say that. I designed t-shirts. I live that brand. I'm the Weather Witch. I want to be a ghost story. Anywho, City of Walls and Secrets. That's right. As we start with all the episodes, we have the description on Netflix / Paramount Plus because they're the same. And then we have Brandi's much better descriptions. Not to put pressure on you.
I feel the pressure.
You have a record that is like...
I feel like I have a really good track record, and I'm just waiting for it to fall.
You're like 30-0 at this point.
I'm just waiting for that to come crashing down.
I mean, with the way the bar's been set, you're like, they've gotten better, but you're still like up here
Yeah.
off the
Okay.
camera view. So
Yeah.
you
All
fly.
right.
Unless you just like flat out don't do one, I don't think there's a way you could be worse.
I feel like if I flat out for either don't do it or forget to do it, then I will just write one like live on stream.
And it would still be good.
Yeah. You guys can just watch me panic as I try and like formulate ideas given the English language.
The fear in your eyes. Yeah. Well, speaking of eyes, I'm going to use mine to read. I'm really bad with transitions tonight.
It's all right.
I'm
It's
so
all right.
dead tired.
It's okay.
Anywho, here we go. Reading off the handy dandy phone. City of Walls and Sea. Oh, I just realized what episode's coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anywho, City of Walls and Secrets before emotional trauma. Aang and the kids finally arrive in Ba Sing Se to see the Earth King, only to find mysterious forces within the city conspiring to stop them. Not bad.
Yeah.
Kind of one-sided. Doesn't tell the whole
Yeah, they always forget about it.
story.
They always forget about it. And I
Poor
never
Zuzu.
will.
And
never
that's
will.
why you're here. No. We
Alright,
have to
I
make sure that
feel-
everyone is covered.
I feel like mine's pretty similar. So here we go. The game begins their search for Appa in the city of Ba Sing Se, but are forced to conform to the rules that control the city, while Jet devises a way to out Zuko and Iroh as firebenders.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say out Zuko Zuko. Just
Zuko.
elaborate plats and plots. No, see, that's all you had to do. Add in Jet, Iroh, and Zuko. Because that, I was surprised at how big a chunk it took up of the episode.
That, and it relates so much to what's happening with the game.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I love this episode so much, is that it kind of just like gets tied into this like really big, scary conspiracy theory little bow
Yes.
that I'm just kind of like, yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, to be fair, this episode was better than I remember. Like a million
Nice.
times better than I
Nice.
remember. So I'm
makes me happy.
jumping on your ship. But yeah, no, they divided up pretty well, and it's all intertwined. Where would you like to start? With the gang or with Zuko? 'Cause I have like a billion pictures for both.
I
Not
don't know.
really,
I guess we can start with Zuko, because I really just want to like ask this question. It's not so much a question, but it's just like, I think from this point on we need to start talking about Zuko's hair.
Yes. Yes. Zuko's hair is so fabulous. It's finally not that
I was gonna
stubbly.
say, yeah. I feel like in this episode, this is the best that it gets.
Yes. It's not quite like street hermit level,
Yeah.
like when he's like living out in the woods, but it's also not the ponytail like Prince Zuko.
Yeah, I think it was actually this exact scene where I was like, we're gonna have to start talking about this dude's hair every week.
Like, look at that. He's got the shadow going on. He got the spikes. Like, I don't know where he's finding hair gel, but it looks good. And the eyebrow.
Here's the intrusive thought.
Oh, I can pet him.
Do you
nice.
think that they just, if you're a firebender, then you can just like style your hair like you have like a flat iron, but like with your
fingers and just oh. Now you know how much that would save me in an electric bill.
I know, right?
Man, I could see it now. He's just sitting in their little apartment, just
Yeah, he's just.
And Uncle Iroh walks in. What are you doing? I'm getting ready. Trying to be angsty. Oh, Zuko gets good hair. Zuko gets a girlfriend. Coincidence? I think not.
No.
I don't think so. Katie, help. What am I helping with? Out Jet the Jet. I still hate Jet. I get that. Yes. No, I think everyone's trying to follow other people, maybe. We're just gonna go with follow Shadowcat and William Jackson and Rapunzel and everyone. It's a whole cult, guys. Get to know everyone. Yes, the Zuko's hair is amazing. And also, like, not to diminish Iroh's beard game. Like, it's still killing it.
Yeah.
Adorable. Look at how happy this man is.
I know, like he's got himself a job in a tea shop. He found these flowers.
I want to get them to look nice in case you bring a lady friend home. Like, aww, he's such a supportive guy.
I like how 100% he is committed to just like living a normal life. Like,
yes.
There was no, like, they just entered the city and he was like, all right. You know.
Well, and you kind of see that too. Like, with their outfit choices in the scene. He is in the the green and the lighter green shades of Ba Sing Se. Zuko's still kind of the recluse kind of traveler outfits.
That's a good catch. Ooh. You're absolutely right.
Details. Tea shop. Nice tea shop. Yes. I wonder now how he pulled that job. Like, he already has money to buy vases. The guy took one look at him and was like, you know tea, get over here.
I mean, I also, you can't deny that, like, Iroh knows how to, like, sweet talk somebody. So he probably was just like,
oh, yeah.
You know, I'll just take these flowers off your hand.
Yeah, true. He probably walked up to the guy who owns a tea shop and was like, I see you also like having a beard. Would you like to have an employee? Or two? Like, his LinkedIn pitch is just spot on.
Yeah. But then I also like that, like, once the guy, like, goes in the back and then Iroh, like, takes a sip and he's like, we're going to have to make some changes.
Yeah. Oh, this is definitely changing.
He's like, this ain't it.
And he takes such pride in his tea and Zuko's just, dude. Yeah. This is becoming, wrong clip. Like, get a room, Uncle Iroh. Yeah. This is as close as I've gotten in my life to actually wanting to try proper tea.
Oh, yeah?
Like, genuine proper tea. Because, I want to go to Tokyo at some point, go to Japan. Mm-hmm. I love My Hero Academia. I love just the anime culture and being able to see the culture that created that and being like, thank you. Would be amazing. And so whenever I go over there, I'm going to try like jasmine tea just for Iroh. I'll pour out a cup.
Oh.
Do you drink tea?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I drink it in place of coffee. I never liked coffee, but I always drink a lot of tea. So,
what kind of tea is your favorite, would you say?
I really like chai tea.
Nice. I have no idea what that would taste like.
It's spicy. Like, it's spicy. It has like a lot of warm spices. So, like, I guess I can't believe I'm about to compare it to this, but like, you know, like what a pumpkin pie tastes like? Like,
yes.
It's like that because it has cloves and cinnamon and stuff like that. And so I feel like I'm doing a really bad job explaining what chai tea is. And I'm sorry if I've offended anybody.
Ouch, it's just true good. Though. I'm an uncultured American. I'm like, isn't it all hot leaf juice?
No, it's not.
I do call it because I have a friend from high school, actually. We've managed to stay friends through all this time, and he loves tea. Nerdy tea. They have a booth at C2E2, the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, which I'm going to this year, and you should too. But they have a whole booth for nerdy teas, and they're related to fandoms. They have like different teas that taste like no, that sounded wrong. That taste like different doctors from Doctor Who, but like, that are themed after the different doctors. Okay. And then they have Iroh's tea and anime teas, all that cool stuff. So I just call it hot leaf juice, but I should probably get more cultured. India does tea. Jasmine tea is from Thailand. Fascinating. I didn't know. Off to work. See you, William. LLAP. Oh yes. There we go. Everyone say bye to William. So we got tea, and we got like the physical tea, and then we have the actual tea, which is Jet stalking the daylights out of these two. Like the hunter becomes the hunted in this episode.
I think that that's so interesting that compared to what he was like in the previous episodes, like he was pretty chill, and you were like, all right, maybe he has changed. And then the moment that the idea of them being firebenders, like it's like he just immediately goes back to the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to like stop and think, like, what do you think his reaction would be if he knew who they really were? Like if he knew that this was General Iroh and Prince Zuko.
I think he would try to stab them through the heart. I think he would just, I got 2 knives, let's use them, kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, like I don't know, because like he is very tame. Like he's trying to find evidence, and then he's trying not to like take matters into his own hands, and he only gets to that point when he realizes that he's not going to catch them firebending.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that if he knew who they were, I think right off the bat he wouldn't have done all of this. Like he would have just came straight out.
Oh yeah.
And and everything like that.
He could be like, hey guys, who was here when the Dragon of the West like just totally rampaged the city? Like, can you identify him? And or here's a poster.
Yeah.
I feel like that might have been better evidence than just attacking.
I just had this thought. Do you think so? Like, obviously, there are no like wanted posters in like Ba Sing Se. Most of the wanted posters that we see are like of Fire Nation origin, like
yeah,
and stuff
we
like that.
Want
but
the Avatar.
Yeah. But like, obviously, the city, like the word doesn't exist within the city. Mm-hmm. So then, wanted posters probably just aren't really even a thing, even in the lower levels.
That's a good point, unless it's like petty crime. But even then, the Dai Li will take care of them.
Yeah. But I'm just like, man, like if those wanted posters of Iroh and Zuko were anywhere near, like would they have even gotten into the city?
That's a good point. Like that's the only way they've gotten into the city at this point is no one can recognize who they are. Because we've seen in the world, like their wanted poster is out there.
Yeah.
So, that's a good catch.
But again, that wanted poster is of Fire Nation origin. So like those are only around like the cities and stuff that are controlled by the Fire Nation or outposts.
That's so cool.
Sorry,
that's a great thought. I love that. No, and also, with this episode, I think it really does solidify the loner side of Jet. Like the last time we saw him, he had a group. He had groupies.
Yeah.
Actually, he still has Smellerby and Longshot, but there's a lot of shots like this one during the daytime, and then they do it again during the nighttime, because who needs uniqueness? And it kind of just, it gives that vigilante on my own look. We barely see Smellerby and Longshot, and even when we do, they're trying to pull him back.
Yeah.
Like, that's good friends right there. You're like, dude, you're becoming obsessive. Kind of like you guys with me and Scott Bakula. Like, he's kind of old, Katie.
Yeah, but, I still, sometimes feed into that because I gave you that gift bag with...
And I still have it in our basement.
Yeah. I completely forgot about it until you reminded me, like, a year ago or so. And now I'm just like, I'm never going to forget that now.
No, we are not allowed to use that bag. That bag is sacred. One of these days I'll bring it up and I'll show it on the show. It's just Scott Bakula's lovely face on a gift bag. It's amazing.
No name tag needed.
No name tag. Everyone knew immediately who it was, which kind of tells you how big of a stan I was for him. Shadowcat says Jet being a stalker and a very bad home banker. I don't get the last part.
I don't get the last part either.
I'm sorry, Shadowcat. I'm Also, I'm sure we're both very tired, so we'll just go with yes.
Yeah,
Smelly and long shot scenes just hit different now. Yeah.
you're welcome.
Yes!
You're welcome.
The
No, because
trauma on top.
I was watching this and
Oh.
yeah, you see,
Ah.
I knew
Got it.
that it had to be something that I was like, I don't know if we should agree with that or not.
It's kind of true.
We
He's
digress.
just being a jerk. Yes.
But when Smellerbee and Longshot like catch up with him and they're like, you know, they're not firebenders and they're like trying to like pull him back. Longshot, he doesn't like he's looking at Jet, but a lot of the times that he looks over at Smellerbee, I'm like reading way too much into it now, and I'm like, the only reason why he's looking over at Smellerbee is he's like, let's just cut ties. Like this ain't worth it. Because he just keeps looking over at Smellerbee, and I'm like, oh.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get hurt. No, it does say a lot. Like, they don't make a lot of eye contact in this episode.
Mhm.
They're kind of just like, hey, man. Like, kind of when you have a friend who has a bit of a problem that is starting to like show in their life, for example,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I want to talk to you about this, but this is also incredibly awkward, and we're worried about you, but at the same time, we don't want to make you mad. Like,
Mhm.
the person who wrote this has experienced it in real life, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think also like obviously there's like a bit of an unspoken thing. Like all we can really like Jet says, you know, he lost the other freedom fighters, and you know, Smellerbee and Longshot stuck around for whatever reason, and it's not really told. But like again in my head, I'm just like, you know, either both of them or one of them only decided to stick with Jet because he said that he could change, and now he's fallen into his old ways, and they're kind of like, listen, we don't want to lose you because you mean a lot to us, but you said that you were going to change and now you're not, and so why should we stick around? And I think Jet also brings up like, haven't you forgot what the Fire Nation has done to us and like what they've taken away? And I think that this is why they're kind of looking away and they're kind of like, yeah, you're right. Like the Fire Nation has taken a lot from us, but I think at this point they're kind of they've realized that that doesn't mean that they get to take away whatever they want from the Fire Nation as well. And so it's just like,
exactly. Internal debate. Oh, yes. No, this is actually, I completely forgot about this part from when I was a kid. I just remember Jet was like attacking Zuko and Iroh.
It's a good fight though.
It is.
It's a good fight.
My gosh, the detail on it. Like, and the fact that they did it in the dark, okay, this is pixelated, but still, like, they did it at night, but you can still see things. Like, Hollywood needs to take some advice from this. Star Trek Picard, I'm looking at you. I want to be able to see what's happening.
Last season of Game of Thrones.
Yes! Exactly. Like, oh, look, it's not all just black and white. There's some green and some red. What? That's all I could think about when I was watching this. It was bad. Time Prophet, what's up? Oh, hail lol! I should have had my hailstone with me. That thing's going to crack open a skull one day. It is massive.
At least break a toe if you drop it.
Holy crap! Well, okay, so side tangent. For anyone who 3D prints, there's PLA filament that's hard, and then there's like flexible PLA, which is made for like you can print stress balls and everything. I'm gonna make it into a stress ball.
Oh.
It's just gonna be giant, and I'm gonna take it to school talks because in school talks I tend to like pass around the hailstone. This one I can just like huck it and be like, catch.
I would test that. I would test that theory on before you myself. Just. Okay.
Hey kids, what's a huck this at my face? Make sure it's a squishy one. No, but actually, I was looking at the 3D printing stuff. You can 3D print swords like this and models, like Zuko's swords. I'm going to waste so much money. Well, spend, not waste, because it'll be worth it. But I'm going to spend so much money making these. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Oh no, let's see. What's going on?
Can instead of like making them like full size, could you make them instead of like you know like the swords for like like um like
Like
what has
cheese
happened?
swords?
No, like the tiny like the little toothpick swords for
Yeah,
like
for
yeah
like
yeah yeah yeah.
hors d'oeuvres, yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. I was just really stuck.
Hors d'oeuvres, you don't use that a lot in real life. We aren't the fancy upper
No, I
class.
was like, what? What? Yeah, you need to make them that size.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I have an Avatar themed party and it's just Gen Z.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, I'm doing that. I'm so doing that. I have to get the food grade PLA, but
I
I'll
was
do
gonna
it.
say, yeah.
The Time Prophet says, "It's a bad day and a good day. Good day, you've been editing your book. Ooh, which is taking
Nice.
a bad day. Your guitar broke.
No.
Oh, hopefully it's just the strings and not the actual guitar. And if it is the actual guitar, what was it? R&R resin adhesive. I use it on my Janeway phaser. That stuff sticks like cement, which actually isn't sticky after I think about it. It sticks like glue. We'll go with that. Those hailstones are going to choke a few school kids thinking it's popcorn. Yes, I'm going to give it to like 4th grade and up with the explicit instructions of do not eat these. Because, like, I don't know if you saw it, Brandi, or for
I
anyone
did.
else for that matter. Yeah, I made like a big hailstone that's like 8 inches wide and then a bunch of mini 1-inch hailstones. They do look like they could be cereal. So I have to be careful with that. I need to make my hailstones out of marshmallow. It's a lot safer. Actually, what I want to do is I want to make a silicone mold and I can like make little ice hailstones. That'd be awesome.
Bro.
Or just like the big one, make it into a hailstone, fill it with ice, and just
Yeah, for like punch bowls.
You can make miniatures from the show and put them on Etsy. That's how we can fund our C2E2 trip.
There we go.
We'll sell hors d'oeuvre knives. Print Lego character minifigs and do reenactments. Ooh. Oh no, it's a pickup switch, which probably needs replacing. Do not eat to school kids actually means eat. Yeah. Yeah. Just like don't talk about the Warren Buffett thing, say. They're gonna end up, Jet's gonna talk about it anyway.
Yep.
And it's gonna end up in a fight. A very, very good fight. And I just, this scene.
What I love is that probably to Jet. Well, no, I was supposed to say probably to Jet. He was like, "Oh, he's firebenders. Like they're probably not trained in sword fighting." But didn't Zuko have swords of some type on the ferry? I think he does.
Did he?
I think he
Okay.
does.
Zuko fairy swords.
No, he does because he uses his swords to like flip over like bowls on top of each other and then like stack them up.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so I was supposed to say, I bet you Jet was
Oh.
not expecting him to be fully trained in swords, but bro knew that he knew how to use them, and he still walked in and was like, "You're you're firebenders."
He probably didn't think he'd have his swords at work.
I mean,
They
this
have
is
a
true.
no sword policy.
This
You
is
can't bring it on
true.
the premises.
But like the guards had swords.
Yeah, fair.
I also love that like Zuko was just like, "This is so much better than serving tea. Let me just borrow these." And
He didn't even
then
yoink.
yeah, he was like, "I got nothing better to do," or "I just got off the clock."
Yeah. No overtime for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and just how it immediately spills out into the alleyway. Just everyone can see. Oh, this isn't
But
the
like, given
quiet
the
tax.
area that they live in, I bet you nobody was too phased. Like they were like, just
Yeah,
another Thursday.
yeah, kind of like oh gosh, what is it, Kirkwood at IU, the main strip where all the bars are.
Mhm.
Yeah, that. Like, you just kind of expect it, just not out of a tea shop necessarily. Oh yeah. No, this scene, the swizzle, as I called it, in my notes. I thought that's such a cool way to show how it's like,
That
now
close.
that I'm into anime, I really appreciate animation styles more.
Mhm.
And so this added to the show.
I think you could also
it's-
see like the fear in Jet's eyes too, because that was
oh yeah. He's like, that was a
really
little
close.
Yeah. Oh, and like, yeah, the articulation of the eyebrow. Ooh, spoiler. The articulation of the eyebrow and just being like, where the placement of the eye, the little bit under his eye, just so beautiful shot. Beautiful. Makes me happy. And then you see, on top of it, Zuko's just kicking butt and taking names, and Iroh's in the background. He's like, please, son, you're just confused. We're simple tea folk. Like,
Yeah, he's like, we're just refugees.
yeah.
Iroh's still trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Iroh's still trying to sell it.
He really wants that new life.
No, probably just because he really wants to keep his job, because he's like, if I wasn't here, this tea shop is nothing.
Like, I have been a 5-star general, and this is still the best job I've ever had.
Yeah.
Which also, totally kind of a side tangent. Can we appreciate how when he did a good job and there were more and more people coming in, the boss was like, I think you deserve a raise. I'm going to take all the money for myself.
I know, right? I know. Iroh's been here like a day and a half, and he already got a raise. And I'm like, what?
Me sitting here working in this industry for how long?
I know, right?
Gosh, no. As soon as he was like, I think you deserve a raise, I had to pause it because I was just like, even the cartoons get better than I do.
That's how you know this is fiction.
Yes.
That's what breaks it for me.
This is the only break. Oh, it's so sad, but so true. Oh, wow, I'm behind on the comments. Okay. You're watching Avatar drawing tutorial on how to draw Sokka, and really his face is made from circles and triangles. Nice. That'd probably make it easier. I'll take a cut as it was my idea. Yes. It's surprising how low the frame rate of Avatar is when you slow down the frames. Oh, yeah. There's the guy, Brandi, I think you had contact with him, who does the frame-by-frame Avatar on Facebook. It's pretty sweet. Oh, yes. The Avatar RPG. Have you gotten your copy of it, Brandi?
I have, but it's at my parents'.
I just got mine in the mail.
Nice.
So we're going to have to do a whole RPG group, like whoever has it and wants to play.
Yeah, definitely.
Crap, did you see how thick the books are?
No, because it's at my parents' and I haven't opened the box yet.
No.
I had to send it there because I was like, in a year's time, I will not be at the same place that I am now.
I did that with my parents, but surprise, I'm living with my parents, so it worked.
It was just funny because my mom was like, did you ship something? Because I never shipped something to the house. And I was like, oh yeah, I meant to tell you about that. And she was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I ordered it over a year ago. And then she never asked any follow-up questions. She was just like, yes, this is my child. Okay.
All right. Well, you can have it.
Yeah. She's like, it's waiting for you when you come home.
Aw. No, when you pick it up, it's dense. We'll have to do like a reveal and a walkthrough of what we all got, because I'm sure that Shadowcat and other people, if Shadowcat knows, they probably got a copy too. So it's pretty cool. The term Swallow is going to apply to his wallet too. Oh, I love it. And have you heard of the new live action Avatar on Netflix? Yes, they've been working on it. I followed the guy, the kid who plays Aang, actually, on Instagram. And he had to cover up his head so he wouldn't show off his baldness and stuff. It's interesting, but it's starting to get there. The rumor has it that it's going to come out in the summer, which I'm hoping, because I'm going to be going to San Diego Comic-Con for one day, that it'll line up and the stars will be kind and line up nicely so that I get to see whatever promos they have.
Nice.
I'm really hoping. I've been in the lottery for San Diego Comic-Con for about 5 years now. I finally got one Thursday ticket. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. You know who else was hold on. My whole screen just went. What? Okay, it's okay. Your face was just Brandi on my entire monitor.
I'm
I
sorry
don't
for
think I
that.
could read you that if I tried. No,
I'm sorry.
you're okay.
No one should be subjected to that.
I feel the same about me, but being on air, that's kind of something I just have to deal with now. Oh, you have a freebie before they started the Kickstarter if you got a chance see Twisted Tunes. Very cool. And Katie, I need you to print a mini camera to sneak into San Diego Comic-Con panels. Yeah. I will
And then
get
that's how Katie gets banned from the San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah. They'll never catch me. I'll make an entire costume of cameras. All of them will be fake, except for one, and they'll be constantly recording. They'll never catch me. Yeah, then we'll have to do like a special episode. This is actually probably what it'll look like when I get off the plane and walk into San Diego. Cause yeah,
That's how
Comic-Con
I
is
felt.
huge.
That's how I felt when I was in Arizona. Or
Really?
not well, in Phoenix. I realized that Arizona is a whole state.
Yeah.
When I was in Phoenix, I was like, excuse me.
Dang. I'm not from here.
I was like, I gotta go find like a field or something, guys.
Yeah. It's just a lot.
Yeah. So
Oh
much.
yeah. Yeah, Phoenix is the one that has the train that goes from the airport to the bus station, right?
Yes.
I love that train. Not quite as cool as the trains that they have in Ba Sing Se, though. That I did take a mental note. Human-powered trains is how we can stop global warming, and I think this would work.
It's such an interesting design. I've always really loved those trains.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and just like, the track system, it's got a double decker. Like, whoa, this is the Britishness of everything. It's so cool. Oh, I just had to point that out. So now that we're back in Ba Sing Se with the gang instead of with Zuko and Jet, which we'll get back to in the final little bit. That is so cool. Well, how do you feel about the gang getting into Ba Sing Se finally?
I feel like it's been like a long time coming, and like I didn't realize how long it had really taken for them to just even get into the city until like that opening scene where they're on the train and Katara's like stretching and she's just like, oh man, I am so tired. And I'm like, yeah, this probably took them just getting out of the desert and then getting to the wall, and then they had to deal with the drill, and now they're probably just now, and I was like, wow, man.
Well, like the fact that they had set their sights on Ba Sing Se and just the amount of space that they would have had to cover. Because if you look at the map of Avatar, Ba Sing Se is it is the spot to be, but it's in the Earth Kingdom, which is just so massive. So, and without Appa, that just makes their journey even longer. They probably skipped over a lot of the journey now that Appa was gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. Which makes you wonder why, like, you know how when Toph does that, like, whole rumbling earth, like,
oh yeah,
thing? Like, just everyone hop on her back, do that. She can be the new Appa.
She really could. Although I don't think that Toph would, like, allow that. Like, she would be like, no, I'm pulling my own weight.
Exactly. You got to carry yourselves. Katara
she'd just look at Aang and be like, you can earthbend, and then just leave.
Poor Sokka's just left in the dust, like, guess it's you and me, Momo. And then Momo flies away, like,
he's like, oh yeah.
That's right. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of, I just see all the comments. Okay. I have the freebie from the Kickstarter. Yes, we already got to that one. Now we're at this one. Twisted Tunes is a voice actor who does script readings. Ooh, cool. Interesting. You all get Spirited Away vibes from the guy on the train.
Yes.
Yes, the corn guy.
Yes. Here's the thing. As a kid, and I don't know, I always went back and forth. I was like, is it corn on the cob or is it a pineapple? Because I feel like I think it's supposed to be corn. It's probably 100% supposed to be corn. But for whatever reason, every single time I watch it, I'd like have this split second before he appears, and I was like, does he have just a whole pineapple?
I do want to point out, If you type in Ba Sing Se corn guy, this is the image that pops up.
I'm sure that it's corn.
And he has his own wiki page.
I'm sure he does.
The corn cob guy was a resident of Ba Sing Se who rode the monorail from one place to another. He came across as rather peculiar as he bore a vacant expression and a corn cob sticking out of his mouth.
I feel like this guy just had a vacation at Lake Lao guy.
Yes, just completely zoned out. Look at Momo also. Just trying to.
What I love is that Toph.
Excuse me.
Even Toph is like what? Like,
imagine feeling that and being like, "What is
I
in
know.
your mouth? Spit it out." Pineapple on the cob. I mean, Avatar has animal hybrids. Why not food hybrids?
This is a really great point.
Corn on the pineapple. Ew.
Corn on the pineapple.
That just feels wrong. Oh my gosh, I completely skipped over this section. If you go to Comic-Con as a cloud, make sure it's cumulonimbus. Yes. I could do like a cloud on top of a Nimbus 2000. Or Nimbus 2000. It'd be so amazing. The art style kind of looks like Spirited Away. You get that anime vibe from Avatar for sure. And Toph could make an Earth surfboard for everyone to get on. That could work. Aw, laters. See you, Shadowcat. Thanks for joining. And perhaps the corn guy was trying to give up smoking. You know?
No,
Maybe?
I think this is what happened. I think he was trying to give up chewing on just a whole corn cob, and then this is his relapse.
Yep. He's not having a good day. You can see it.
Yeah.
Also, why just, I always point out the nipple. No, that's a navel. Just a naked navel right there. Oh, the poor gang has been through so much. And then you have this. Like, it's a whole, they fight demons, or not demons, but like monsters and sea serpents and spirits. And then you see that. I'd question my sanity. Well, and at the same time, Aang's going through all the trauma.
Yeah, he's like, now I can finally start, finding Appa, and he's like, he's a 2-ton bison, it won't be that hard, and then this is the landscape.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, and it broke my heart when he pulls out the whistle and he's just like, I'm coming for you, buddy. It's like, oh gosh, so sad. And then we just have this monstrosity of a.
Her entrance is so good though, because they're just like they're having like their own little conversation, and then she's just across the tracks. And I think there's also like some type of an audio cue with like almost horror music. And you're just like, what is going on?
Is this the Earth Kingdom version of Azula? Like, what's happening? Yeah. Oh, I think she's probably the main reason why I don't go back and watch this episode. It just freaks me out.
I could see it, but Judy is like the queen of gaslighting.
Yes, she is. Oh my gosh. Like, this whole episode, especially with like at the end, this could have just been called the gaslighting of Ba Sing Se.
Like, and what I love is that like she comes up, she greets him, and Sokka's just like, all right. He doesn't even talk about Appa. He's just like, we gotta go see the Earth King because we have information about the war in the Fire Nation. And she's just like, so we'll begin our tour. And I think later on he's like, I feel like she's only getting every other word. And I'm like, buddy, she's not even getting every other word. Like she's not hearing anything. She's programmed.
The Numa Numa guy?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's playing in her head. All her head is just sounds. Like static. No, you can even see I named it Creepy PNG. The poor gang. But to be fair, they are treating him fairly nicely at this point. they have a house. Like, as someone who can relate to, like, the millennial struggle, because we are, like, millennial Gen Z-ish,
I don't know what I am
getting
anymore.
a house of your own is hard.
Well, like, this is also, like, the first time that they really even stay in one spot over multiple episodes. Like, they stay in the North Pole for a bit and everything like this, but, like, this just feels, like, really big for some reason for them to
They
just,
have
like...
their own house.
Yeah.
It's like going to college and you join you have a dorm.
Yeah.
It's sweet. And also, like, is this the same house that they have at the end of the the series?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's nice they let them retain their property.
Yeah.
The house is bribery. They should have been suspicious. Yeah.
And I love that none of them are excited. Like they're not like, wow, we get this whole place to ourselves. They're just like, what the heck is going on? Like,
what? Huh? Blank
Toph is
expression.
kind of like, I told you so. Like,
we shouldn't have come to Ba Sing Se.
yeah. And what I find really interesting is that, like, this, because Aang traveled a lot when he was younger and went to like all these places, and so a lot of times when they visit like a bigger city, they're like, yeah, I remember this, 100 years ago, and this is like one of the only places that Aang never even went to.
Yes, that is such an interesting, like, little, just a one-off sentence where he's like, I never came to the city. It's so different from what the monks taught us.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're just like,
oh.
Which means Ba Sing Se has had its issues for a long time.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to add backstory with just, like, one sentence.
Yeah.
Avatar's the master of doing that. Also, chilling on the banister rail in Sokka, having his feet on the painting. They're such children. We forget that sometimes. It is true.
Yeah, like he's
Aang
sitting
chilling.
like with his feet up against the wall and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. And there's just... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, well, I was to say that just immediately leads me to Bosco the bear.
Freaking Bosco! Oh my gosh. That bear... Okay, so the fan art for this episode was mostly... like, not
of
suitable
the bear.
for anywhere. Jet and Zuko. But the ones that I will be showing are the bear.
Listen,
chains.
I know that this isn't the episode, but whenever I hear Bosco, I just think of the Earth King going, I'm not leaving without Bosco!
Yes. Every pet owner.
I get that the Earth King is kind of like an idiot, but he's the kind of idiot that I just really love.
Exactly.
He's just a harmless idiot.
He shouldn't be king, but man, he'd be a great citizen.
I love him so much. The dude has like, I don't know, maybe 5 lines of dialogue, and I'm like, bro, I love you.
Yes. Oh, and the Time Prophet brings up a good point. The city may not have been so big 100 years ago. They have had 100 years to reinforce their city. So, yeah, and it's probably even worse than what Aang's original...
I don't know how much the city has even really expanded, because even like the guy that lives across the street from him, he was like, I've waited so long to like get this house.
Yeah. Maybe like it's the outer ring that expanded? Yeah. Just like,
maybe.
I have a map. I don't know if it's definitely not an official map. But it works to show the scale of it and how like the upper ring is just super tiny. And then you have Agrigarian, that's a word, zone with Lake Laogai and just the lower ring and stuff. I imagine with all the refugees, they'd have to expand. Like, it was getting crowded.
Maybe.
It'd be difficult to expand, though.
For whatever reason, I thought Lake Laogai was outside of the walls.
I don't know. Because all the maps that I saw had it inside.
I mean, I could be really wrong.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because there's plenty more Lake Laogai to come.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yes. I think of the Earth Queen in The Legend of Korra.
Oh, the Earth Queen sucks, but the Earth King...
heard. Yeah, so like, how did she come from him? No, if anyone hasn't seen that part of The Legend of Korra, and if you don't know what part it is, trust me, you'd know it if you had seen it. Just take the headphones out. I'll wave when it's okay. Take them out. Ready? I wanted her dead. Oh my gosh, that felt so good. Like, I've never sided with the villains before, but man, that was
I feel like I side with the villains quite a lot.
really.
Yeah. Maybe not 100% siding with them, but a lot of times I'll be like, I don't know, they have really good points.
Let's hear them out.
Like, their execution is flawed, and maybe we need to work on the morals, but like, the core of the idea seemed right.
Yes. Oh, she's worse than Umbridge. So true. Oh, yes. You can come back, anyone who's had the headphones on. Come back. Yeah. Anywho. So, on a vague tangent, the Earth King. They want to meet up with him, and Judy is just the master of diversion tactics. Like, no, you'll get to meet with him in a month.
She's a master of diversion tactics, but like, she doesn't 100%, like, she never really tells them no, because that would mean acknowledging that they're like even as a war. Like, she's just really good about being like, that's a good thought. So
exactly. Like, oh, you want to talk with him? I'll let him know. Anyway.
Yeah. 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, I feel like he's the Avatar. You know that their request was not given to the Earth King.
Oh no. Well, and like during the party, like Aang like spills some water on somebody, and instead of water bending it off, he just blows dries it. But anyways, she's like, oh, the Avatar. I didn't know the Avatar was gonna be here. And I was like, she has to live in the Upper Ream, and to even like, she has to be of importance. How does she even know that the Avatar is back? Like, at what point? At what point are these people controlled? Like, do they know that there's a war going on, but that they don't acknowledge it? Or do they not know that a war is going on? And if they don't know that a war is going on, do they ask themselves and like, you know, how come there's no nobleman from the Fire Nation? Or like, this is why I like it so much, because it's just like, at what scale?
Oh, when does the manipulation stop?
Yeah.
Because, like, you could say the Avatar returned without talking about the war.
You could. But at the same time, I guess the question, like, did they even know that the Avatar disappeared?
True.
Like, how quickly
Maybe they just thought the Avatar was always... No, because then she would have had to have known that he was an airbender. If he was like
I realize that she probably does know that the Avatar did disappear, but I'm just like, at what point in time in the 100-Year War did this manipulation begin? And is Long Fane the first to do it, or did he inherit the position?
Oh, that's a good question.
This is why I love this episode, because
I wish I would have unpacked our cult Bible, because then I could have written it down.
This is why I love this episode, because at face value, like, you're like, oh, okay, nobody, like, the war doesn't exist. But then throughout this episode, they're talking to like the owner of the pet shop, and and Judy just like is smiling and like nods her head no, and
so creepy.
You know, he's just like, you gotta leave. And obviously, I think that the reason why he's like that is because everybody knows that the Dai Li, to some degree, understands the controllingness of them, and then also probably what Lake Laogai is, and it's that fear that keeps everybody from talking about it. And then like the same thing kind of happens when they're at the university talking to the student. Yeah. And I can't remember what they ask. I guess Sokka asks like something about the Fire Nation and the war, and like he's like, oh well, I'm not a student of like culture or studies. And he just like leaves, which then again implies that he knows a war is going on, but he just knows that nobody can talk about it. Which then I guess, I feel like I'm rambling, but is the Earth King the only one that doesn't know that there's a war going on and everybody else does?
Honestly, it might be that way.
He's just in his own. That's probably why his best friend's a bear, because nobody else can talk to him.
Yeah, exactly. He's so sheltered. Oh my gosh, yes.
But I'm just like,
Oh.
at what level?
Yeah.
At what level?
That'd be a good question if the creators ever go to like a Comic-Con. You could just be like, all right, you're gonna take the rest of this panel and you're gonna explain this. I need to know. Oh man, I am so behind on comments here. Time Prophet says a new animated series following the next Avatar in the cycle has been announced by Avatar News Thursday. This new series will follow Avatar's earthbending incarnation. I remember seeing something about that.
I remember seeing it, but I didn't know if it was like actually like confirmed or not.
I believe it was,
Oh,
which
okay.
I want it to be Genji. I really love that YouTube series. They've built up the characters really well, and like just bring that group into the actual thing. It'd be fan service and it'd also be freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, we'll see. It doesn't give much more information than that. All I know is that this is the original people doing it. So it should be good. And who was at the King's parties? What did they talk about? There's so much to hide.
I think the people that were at the King's party were people that had just like risen through Bossing Say society enough. Like, because even one guy's like, you don't know what I had to do to get this seat close to the bear. Like,
Yes.
like
I do believe
they've just went to that party to say that they've been to that party, which is really just what Bossing Say is. It's just look at Bosco.
Oh, just drooling everywhere. That is a happy face.
It's a happy bear right there.
Oh, I genuinely wouldn't sit that close to a bear.
No,
I don't care if it's
probably
in a
not.
hat. Like, no way.
Do you think Bosco can do tricks?
Yes. Well, I love the part where he's just like Aang's trying to entertain him with the little balls of water,
He's
and
just
like,
so happy.
this is the best day of my bear life.
I love Bosco.
So cute. It's just, oh, he's just so pretty balls and orbs. Oh, I just want to have a simple life like that.
To be a bear.
Yes. Rapunzel says the king's story is similar to the last emperor of China. Assumed the throne as a small child, so his manipulation would have begun then. Yes. And if any of you are interested in learning about that or any of the Chinese dynasties, look to the Extra Credits History channel. It's really, really good. They break them down into like 5-part little animated series, and it's funny. And the guy who voices the channel, I love his voice. I look up to him. Aww. Anyway, he'll never notice me, senpai. The emperor was always a figurehead controlled behind the scenes, 100%. And his bear buddy looks like the bear with a sore head. Oh, because he has a little hat that looks like an ice pack. He's still adorable. Like, oh, I'd be happy with just that for the entire episode.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah, as long as he's been fed recently, it's safe-ish. Probably. A bear can suddenly turn. Bears have been known to rip people apart just because they get into a bad mood, especially Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear! If you guys don't know Cocaine Bear, look him up. It's insane.
I've survived this long.
The Russians also gave snakes vodka, so that's also something that's interesting. Yeah, I've watched too many YouTube channels. So, we get to see the gang in high society. They're trying to fit in at the king's table. They do a pretty good job of it.
They really do.
It's cute how Toph's like, you could pass Katara, but you two.
I also really she said something along the lines of like, you guys don't know anything. And it's just like when you think of Toph, you never think of this side of her, but you're like, yeah, she does know all this stuff. And so I think that it's neat that they found a way to like show that side and everything like that. Yeah. But then like she's still just 100% Toph.
Oh yeah, completely. Well, like, and she can still put on that high society face while being like I'm messing with you guys.
Yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, this scene. Okay, I think I saw it on the wiki. This is only the second time Aang blushes at Katara, because the first
Aw.
time was in the fortune teller. So happy little Aang and confused little Sokka. It's cute. Toph is a cultured booger with the cultured booger flick. I never noticed that it lands on the ceiling above Sokka, then lands on his head a minute later.
Yeah, I know. Also, what I found really interesting when I was watching this is before they leave for the party and they're like talking about what they should do, and like and like like takes like the curtain or whatever, and he's like Sir Momo of the Momo dynasty and stuff. This scene, Sokka brings out a British accent. Nobody in this universe has a British accent.
That's a good call.
Which I hope doesn't ruin this scene for you. I hope it just makes it 100% better, because it did for me.
He created a whole new accent.
I know. And he's just like, this is what Bosch is. And they're just like, what is Bosch?
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh.
Also,
yeah,
Momo now 100% has another whole new complex while he's walking around with like his robe.
Completely. You're like, good luck taking that robe away from him.
Yeah.
He's Lord Momo now. We're the booger benders. Ugh. I could imagine like, oh, this is so gross. Like you're a doctor and you're a water bender, and then all of a sudden someone comes in with a congested nose, and you're just like, oh, here. Let me clear your sinuses for you.
I don't know about that one.
It could work. That's all I'm saying. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it was a good British accent being British.
Oh no, it's terrible, but I'm just like
it's there.
That kind of an accent shouldn't really exist. Or even if it does, like it doesn't necessarily mean what we think it means.
It's just something there. Wait. Okay, we're good. I thought I almost clicked end broadcast and I was gonna cry.
Oh.
It's fine, because we haven't even gotten to the best part, which is creepy part 2.
Listen, this guy, I'm not gonna say that he's like the best villain, because he's not.
Oh, no.
Like he's not, okay?
Compared to like Azula and OG.
No. Like no. But I still really like this guy.
Yeah. I mean, they should have known from his name. Long Fang. That's kind of like that's like going with Kilgrave. Like a little bit on the nose there that you're snake-like.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that is his actual name, or if he was like, I want a name that goes with my identity.
I think what also really is the reason why I love this guy is that he's voiced by Clancy Brown.
Yes.
And I every single time I'm watching like a new show and I hear Clancy Brown, I'm like, yes! I usually go, that's Lex Luthor. And then I'm like, well, it's Clancy Brown, but he's Lex Luthor.
He does a great job with the villain voices.
Doesn't he?
Oh my gosh. I love it. No, I found that when watching this, like, the second time around, he's a villain. He's not a good guy. But his voice just kind of sends shivers down your spine. He freaks me out. Like it's a good job for the writers to be able to like freak you out with just a character design, but man.
And I think what's also really interesting is that in this episode, yes, he does 100%. You're like, wow, this is such a good villain. And then the moment Azula pops up and like his downfall, you're just like, aren't you little pup? I can't believe I was even afraid of you.
Exactly. What a weakling. Yeah. I like this is like one of the more powerful spots that he's in. He has the gang backpedaling just a little bit, like, wait, why?
And I also love the fact that like he he does something I think very interesting than what other villains do typically in the series, is that he 100% kind of controls them and leaves them no way to even really fight him, because he was like, you can either adhere to my rules or you can just get out. And if you get out, you'll never find your bison. So not really sure
Was
what
like,
you're gonna do. Yeah.
that
And
made me
like
so mad.
and like everybody, nobody in the game even tries to fight. Toph doesn't try to fight, Aang doesn't try to fight. Nobody tries to fight. They're just like, you've won. You've won for right now. And I think that's why I like him so much, is because in this moment, you end this episode thinking, there's no way out of this, really.
Nope. They're playing by someone else's rules now. He's such a good manipulator.
And
I
then
hate it,
Azula
but
shows up.
yep, and it's like, you aren't even playing on this. You're playing checkers, my
You were
friend.
never even a player.
Yes. John Promise says, if you click the end broadcast, does the sign come up? I think it says something like genuinely end it, but I'm not going to even try. Clancy's amazing. Clancy Brown is better to burn up than to fade away. He is the Kurgan in Highlander. I saw that when I was looking up his IMDb. What? Will Wheaton was in this episode?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. He is the pet shop owner.
Avatar? What? Oh my gosh. That is so... The whole time, I did not know that. Wow. Okay, well, thank you, Rapunzel, because I would have completely missed that. Now I'm going to have to go back and watch it again. See if I can pick out his voice. Oh, yes. So we get this part where he's, basically, get in, play by my rules, or get out, and you'll never find Appa if you do. I hate him. And then if you want to hate him even more, then we get to the end of the fight with Jet and Zuko. And all of a sudden, that part about him saying, I'm the head of the Dai Li, really makes you sus. Because, like, initially, I don't like him. And they say to beware of the Dai Li. No, but as soon as they took Jet and they're brainwashing him and just... this is when it started to get really serious for me as a kid.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting is that while Lon Fane is like doing his whole like, I'm a villain spiel, it's cutting in between like Jet being arrested and then thrown into the chair, and he's like, I'm not crazy, Jet saying like, I'm not crazy, they really are firebenders, and then it just like, it starts with this, and you're like, what are they even doing to him? Because like up to this point, like, mind control or whatever hasn't really been a thing in the series. So like, as you're watching this, you're like, what is going on? And just mixed with like the absolute sense that Lon Fane has of like, I hold all the cards and there's literally nothing that you can do in this situation. So bye.
Yeah. Because like, this made me genuinely worry, like, okay, Jet's talking about the war and he gets arrested, he gets brainwashed. My kid brain was like, are they going to do that to Aang and Katara and Sokka and Toph? Like, I was worried they'd get brainwashed.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of times I stop myself from having those thoughts because I'm like, well, they're the heroes and ultimately they're going to win, and I think that's also why I love this episode, because in this episode they don't win, they lose, and they lose bad, and you're kind of like, I really don't know how they're going to get out of this situation, and I think that's why I love this one so much, is because it just it almost feels really hopeless, and that's probably very dark for me to admit.
No, I mean, it's true. Like, you have the Serpent's Pass. They end up naming the child Hope. Like, all the episodes end on a note where they're looking forward, and they're stuck in this one.
Yeah. And, like, there's just, like, the game doesn't, like, there isn't a scene afterwards of, like, them being like, oh, well, we'll still find a way or anything. Like, it just ends. And you're just like,
cut. Oh my gosh. It's just so good.
It is. I told you.
The suspense. See, as a kid, I hated the suspense. I'm just like, I don't like
This is
this. It makes me
this is
nervous.
this
I
is what
already
makes
had
great
anxiety
TV.
issues. Like, yes. Now as an adult, I'm like, still have the anxiety, but man, this is good. Oh, could you imagine watching this episodically, like one a week, and then like you have to wait a whole week for this?
Yeah. Well, like I think
Oh.
what's also like really interesting is that the next 2 episodes don't even pick up where it left off. Like we we get 2 whole episodes. Just they're still heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, in just
But
different ways.
yeah, in just different ways. So like you don't only have to wait 1 whole week to watch another episode. You have to wait like a total of 3 weeks for it to even and it's so good.
This is why it's much better to become an Avatar fan now than when you were like OG, because now you can binge. Like, and you also have more access to the internet and forums to talk about it with people instead of just
Yeah.
screaming into your pillow. Oh, wow, there's more comments. Time Prophet says, if every avatar remembers the previous avatars, I wonder why they need to train again. I mean, they should remember their training. To which Rapunzel says, they don't really remember. Aang had to be introduced to his past lives when he first met Roku, and the new body has to be broken in and trained up. Broken in! I don't know why, but that makes sense. That's a funny thing to think about. Yeah, I don't think they directly like have the experiences and everything of all the avatars in their brain. Like they can go into the spirit world and ask them about the
Yeah,
experience.
that's kind of like what the Avatar state is the access to all like the knowledge and the bending knowledge of the previous avatars.
Exactly. And hypnosis is scary. It is so scary as a kid. You lose your self-control, and in situations like this, you lose your self-identity. So it's basically like they kill you because you're not you anymore. Yeah, that sums it up really well.
Yeah.
It's creepy, man. 2 weeks of watching something, I forgot the story. I don't think they never really fixed that connection from what I remember. Sadly. We'll see. Hopefully they retcon it. My gosh, I need more Aang in my life. Okay, we're caught up with the comments. We caught up with the episode. Is there anything I missed?
I don't know. I gotta look through my notes. I feel like I had a lot of.
I have a whole little sheet. I think I got everything. See, what's interesting is I have the sheet next to my collection of fidgets. And
Oh yeah.
for anyone who knows me, yeah. Well, here's a fun fact. I'm kind of obsessed with slime. Oh. I'm kind of
a lot of
obsessed
those
with
are
slime.
green.
Yes, they are.
You held them up and
Them.
like only the orange and the white showed, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yes, I got a purple, I got a white, and then I got my pink, and then I just have my 3 greens.
That's amazing.
But yes, no, I have those, and they're holding down my notes every episode. So if you see me shuffling things around, it's because I'm shuffling the slime off of my papers.
I do have one thing, a couple of things. So one of the things.
Pet Shop Guy Will Wheaton has Sparrow Keats. Louise X Sparrow Keats. Ah, where's Louise X Sparrow?
This is really random and doesn't really pertain, but
yay! I love those ones.
when the Earth King comes into the room and Aang is like rushing to the end of the table and he like stops and he's like, "It's great to meet you," and like his arms are up and like he's just so happy, and then they just walk out immediately. But Aang's energy at the end of that table, I was like, wow, that's some Katie energy right there.
It really was. Yes. Oh, sorry, guys. Hi.
I was just
That's
like,
how
man.
That's how I would totally do it.
And then I have one question that a couple of questions that I want to propose to you.
Yes.
Why ignore the war? And I guess Lone Fang kind of answers it because he's like, it's It's a way to protect like their culture and society.
Yeah.
But if Ba Sing Se didn't ignore the war, do you think the war would have gone on as long as it has?
I feel like yes. Because how many soldiers are they getting from Ba Sing Se if they aren't actively recruiting because there's no war to recruit for?
Yeah.
So if they did recruit for them, they'd have more soldiers, but I don't know if that would make much of a difference because it seems like it's been basically a stalemate at this point between the nations. So maybe it would have helped tip the scales in their favor, but the Dai Li would probably be the biggest asset there.
Yeah, the Dai Li probably would have been a big asset, but I don't think that they ever would have left the city.
Oh yeah, no. They're kind of like the Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe it would have helped in the short term, but in the long term, it like because then there wouldn't have been a place for any of the refugees. Like if
Yeah.
Ba Sing Se got directly involved, and then the Fire Nation would have been targeting them.
Yeah, but like the Fire Nation is already targeting them.
True. I'll leave that to the chat. Chat, what do you think? That's a hard question.
Yeah, no, I know it's an extremely hard question. I don't wonder, like, obviously one of the reasons why the Fire Nation can't control all of the Earth Kingdom is because it's so vast.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a lot of just small little villages without like a whole lot of like centralized control or government. Like we have King Boomy, but we have an Earth King as well, like that kind of thing. And so it probably wouldn't matter a whole lot. Like maybe they would be able to hold a line a little bit better, but
yeah, you just have more bodies to fall in the domino effect, pretty much.
Yeah,
as grim as that sounds. Oh no, but that's a good question.
Yeah, and then the next question that I have for you is: do you think that if, like, the Avatar didn't show up when he did, do you think that the Dai Li could have stopped the drill?
I feel like they might have met their match.
Okay.
Because oh boy, yeah, rock will not beat steel unless you basically like literally beat it over time. There's a greatest episode of Doctor Who that goes through how long it takes to punch through a diamond wall. And oh, I love that episode. But yeah, they'd probably have to try to attack the firebenders inside the drill to disable the the people who work the drill to make the drill stop. So in that aspect, I think they could fight, but then again, they're going up against Ty Lee and May and Azula. So I'd say it'd be a lot more evenly matched than if they had Aang.
Okay. We might have to return to this because I'm trying to remember when Azula comes back. Does she fight the Dai Li? Like, I know.
You're asking the wrong person. I saw those episodes once.
I don't know. It seems like I don't think she ever fights the Dai Li.
Like, maybe if they got the jump on her, they would have the advantage, but I don't know.
We might have to come back to this. Because I think that the Dai Li are very skilled in quickly containing who they're against with like their rock gloves and everything like that. So like, but I think that they could very easily be outnumbered. And also, I just realized, do you think in addition to like Ty Lee and May and Azula being on the drill, were there any infantry inside the drill? Like, what was their plan?
That's a good question. We're just gonna poke the hole through the wall, and we'll come back later. Like, there had to have been.
There had to have been. But it's just interesting that
Maybe.
they were like, oh, we're being sabotaged. So instead of like, oh, we'll just use our infantry to go through the drill and figure out, Azula was just like, I'll handle this myself.
She probably was just like, no, get back in your bunks. I got this.
Like they were tanks on the side, but like, I don't know. Anyways,
there had to have been.
There had to be.
Maybe, hopefully. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting to talk about the chat. I'm so sorry, Time Prophet and Rapunzel and the other two viewers. So, okay, Rapunzel says you need to know the rules of Anger and Sokka's Earth Fire game.
Yeah,
Earth
I
beats
know.
fire, fire beats question mark, air beats water, water beats earth. It's like rock, paper, scissors, scissors, Spock all over again.
Yeah,
well, then
I don't know.
paper wraps all. But then fire burns paper, water dissolves paper, unless it's a paper cup, in which case it extinguishes a candle, and then it can also hold water. So it got really deep there.
It really did. This is where I go, I'm not smart enough.
Well, then you go to the Chibis, and then they have boomerang on top of all the elements.
Oh, they do have boomerang.
They have boomerang. Nice
we should talk about the Chibis.
I love the Chibis. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh, let's see. You need to relearn the story of the Chinese emperor. I think they kept major events secret from him too, even the setting up of another government to replace him. Ooh, fascinating. It'd be fun to see like how it ties in, because I have like a not really fan art, but a cool comparison to actual Chinese culture from this episode. So I wonder if they based it off of that at all.
Alrighty, well that's all the questions that I have.
Nice.
I had a lot of questions.
Those are good questions. Now I have a question for you. Do we have any theories?
I just have one.
Okay.
Because I meant to sit down and really think about it, but I didn't sit down and really think about it, and I'm really sad because this is like my favorite episode.
Oh.
And I didn't have time.
It's been a long week.
I didn't have time to look at anything online, so I just had this one.
Oh.
The theory is that Iroh knows exactly who controls Ba Sing Se and understands what the Dai Li, that the Dai Li is just watching everybody, because he like 100% is just like, you know, I'm just another refugee, but you know, blah 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 blah. And when Jet takes like the spark rocks, like he has no reason to believe that Jet is watching him or that anybody is watching him, and it would have very quickly. But instead, he goes the extra mile and it's just like he's so happy to be like, our neighbors, like he like our neighbors let us borrow theirs, such nice people. And like and then even when like the Dai Li approach, like Iroh was very clear, he's like, we're just simple refugees. And then like that's all he really says, and then it's the owner of the tea shop that's like, you know, this guy came in and assaulted my workers and blah 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 blah. And I think what's really interesting is that nobody else in that group, even the guards, were like, they claimed that they're firebenders. They were just like, this guy's crazy and he's talking about the war, so like we gotta get him. And so the theory, and maybe it's more of a question, is like, do you think Iroh understands? Because obviously the Dai Li has controlled Ba Sing Se for a while. And I would hope that the general would know a lot about the city that he's getting ready to attack. You know, like 5 years when he did it. Yeah. So it's just like, I think that he knows what's up, and I think that he understands that like the king means nothing, and that you have to find the leader of the Dai Li. So it should be interesting to watch the next episodes that deal with this, especially like the season finale, and like how Iroh interacts with like that idea, because I wonder if there are more little strings to pull on that I usually go back and watch, but I didn't have time this week.
Oh man, that makes so much sense, because like, yeah, he doesn't know that Jet's watching them. He wouldn't know that anyone was watching. He could just be like he heated his tea, but he heated his tea outside of Ba Sing Se.
Exactly.
On the train outside. So as soon as he got in,
Then
Yeah.
he really starts and is like, I'm just like, it's like he's almost like a bumbling idiot. Like
Yes.
he's just like, I'm just a happy guy that makes
Woo!
tea.
I'm excited to have my job.
Yeah. Yeah, like he 100%. And like while he's a bit like that on the ferry, because like he's like, as a tourist, and he breaks out like the hat and everything like that. And he's like, but like when they enter the city, he really is 100% like,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
starting a new life because like this will be good. And lady
I
friend,
got us
like
flowers.
I wrote, just goes from 0 to 100. And I feel like he just knows what's going on within the walls of the city, and he's like, why he doesn't explain this to Zuko? Probably because Zuko would then be like, so, yeah, I don't know. But Zuko would
Let's
just be like,
form a plan. Like,
yeah.
he starts doing things. Like, he probably just wants him to be calm.
Yeah. So
You'd think that firebenders would be frightened of water. If it rains, I wonder if they get like -1 damage.
maybe.
Like in Pokemon, it's less effective. No, I love that. I love that theory. Yay. Well, we have our theories. Would you like to go through the fan art? Because
Yes.
there's a lot. Oh, the memes.
The memes.
There's so many. First off,
I will say that
it tickled me so much.
the second Judy freaks me out more than the original Judy.
Yes.
And I don't know why.
Oh, yes. I just she at
like
least has she has the soft curve of the eyes. Hers are just like wah wah wah.
like she walks in and she's like,
harsh.
I'm Judy, and then like doesn't even try to explain what's going on. There's I'm Judy, and you're just like, I'm pretty certain that I've just watched the entire episode and you're not Judy.
Like they gaslit Jet. They gaslit the gang. Now they're gaslighting the viewers. It just they don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. We're gonna keep on with the memes here real quick. Everything else in the Four Nations. Ba Sing Se. Oh, it's not really fan art, but it's art to me.
Memes are art.
Memes are. I'm
you
glad
try
you
and make
feel
a
that
you
way.
try and make a good meme and you convince me otherwise. Oh, I love this one.
Such a good one.
Love this one.
Hi. Oh, and I'm like, it's totally relevant because we talked about how he knows Ba Sing Se, so we're gonna add that one in. Oh gosh, do I have any other memes? I have this one. Because it pops up at the end of the episode. It just and the reason I found it was because of all the freaking fan art. Okay, everyone, if you ship Zuko and Jet this episode, type in Zuko Jet, you will find enough fan art to last you through winter.
I feel like we
for a day.
gotta. I was like, winter's almost over. Like, I know we have February and March, but like winter's pretty much over. Like,
And I hate it. I want more snow. Oh gosh, yeah, no, stay away from it. And this was another one.
yeah, there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
It's a classic. Okay, now more towards the fan art. This one I love because you can actually buy it. It's an actual sticker you can purchase.
I need it. You don't understand the love and affection that I have for this bear.
He has so much merch. It's oh my gosh.
Love it so much.
Oh, I let me see if I can find. I think. Yeah, it's all on Redbubble and everything. You can find it and you can buy it, and it's just
I may have to buy a sticker.
do it. There you go. Do it. The eyes too far apart. Tootie.
Tootie.
Winter hasn't started in Louisiana. Just give it a little bit. I have a feeling you'll probably get something. You snowed last week, but it melted. Yeah, UK doesn't get much snow, although the Highlands have. Oh yes, okay. This was the cultural thing that I mentioned. They actually based those outfits off of the, and I'm gonna totally butcher the name of this, Liang Bao Tao, and the Dali Chi styles, which refers to traditional Manchurian women's hairstyles. I'm still not confident in my pronunciation.
That's okay.
But yeah,
I'm just going to talk about, I really love the detail.
Yes. The detail, right down to the flower details, too.
Yeah.
Like, you add the flowers. So cool. I love it. And the last two fan arts are just Zuko and Iroh being happy at a tea shop, enjoying themselves, and just overall being happy-ish.
I feel like this really encapsulates like who they are in this episode.
Yes. Zuko's kind of like, I'm still angsty, but look at my hair. And Iroh's just like,
He's like, what war? Wink, wink.
There's no war in Ba Sing Se. Oh, I love it.
Okay, so, yeah, I know I said that I didn't have any more questions, but this one literally just popped in my head. Like, the refugees that come to Ba Sing Se because of the war obviously have no idea that the war doesn't exist in Ba Sing Se, other than the fact that like they'll finally be safe.
Yeah.
So then do you think that a bunch of new people come in and they're like, hi, I'm here, you know, I'm a refugee fleeing the Fire Nation, and do you think the other people are kind enough to be like, no? Or do they just like leave because they're trying to distance themselves?
I think part of it has to be the psychological side of things, where if you've been through the trauma, you tend to suppress it and you don't want to, a lot of people don't talk about it. So that might be a part of it. They know that it's happening, but they just don't want to talk about it. Or kind of like you get one free pass, like, hey, yeah, no, I fled from the war. Hey, just a heads up, we don't talk about the war in Ba Sing Se. If you do, you disappear. Like, if someone came up to me and told me, hey, we don't talk about Michigan football. If you do, you disappear. I'd stop talking about Michigan football. Like,
that's an amazing analogy.
Maybe like a little pamphlet that just says, don't. Maybe.
Because, like, when they're on the ferry and stuff like that, there's no, like, nobody's like, okay, this is where you stop talking about the war. Like, the war still feels like a very prominent thing that's happening. And then it's just, like, on the train ride into, like, from the outer wall to, like, you know, the inner wall or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, like, it's like night and day, like, which makes me wonder if like there's somebody on the train and kind of like how flight attendants do like their safety check. There's somebody on the train that's just like, welcome. On every train, there's a Judy.
Oh my god. Oh, that would kill the tourism there.
The tourism is already dead.
Oh gosh.
It's not happening.
Oh yeah. Well, and maybe it is more lax in the lower rings, because like people seem to be like, when chat was like, oh, they're firebenders, the war and this, they seem to know what they were talking about. Whereas if you get to the upper levels, you're like blissfully ignorant.
Like, do they understand what's going on? Because even the guards in the tea shop, like Jet comes in and he's like, they're firebenders, and the guards are just kind of like, what? No, they're like, even Iroh's like, not Iroh, Jet's like, I saw the old man heating his tea, and they're like, yeah, he works in a tea shop. Like, instead of being like, they're firebenders, like, oh my god, like nobody panics and like, firebenders, they're just all like, this guy's crazy. So then I'm just
like they feel so safe.
Maybe, but it's just like, do they even understand why being a firebender is bad?
If it's like a generational thing and you were born in the city, you probably wouldn't know that they were bad.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the atrocities, so
That's what I'm saying. Like, I watched this episode and it's just like I started spiraling. I was like, where does it
Brandi
end?
needs bullet points.
Where does it end? I'm like the conspiracy meme of like,
Yes.
what is it like? Is it like Charlie Day or something? I don't know what his name is, but he's like, just my hair's all
Aliens. Why don't they build a moat around Ba Sing Se? Probably have to import waterbenders then.
I was about to say, because like there are no firebenders in Ba Sing Se, there are no waterbenders in Ba Sing Se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just Earth. We can make quicksand pits, which would be effective. You just constantly have earthbenders like going like twinkle fingers, and the Earth just like vibrating beneath them, and then you step in it and just. I could take that job.
That's an interesting idea.
What's your job? Oh, I'm a twinkle finger.
And that's why Toph calls Aang Twinkle Toes?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pulling at straw here. And a firebender is good if you're cold. I could use that because I'm going to be going skiing the end of this week. So it's going to be cold. You don't need a waterbender to make a moat. An earthbender could make it and just wait for rain. Fair. They could make a gulch and like a valley that leads to that to fill it up. But then you need structural engineers and it becomes a hassle. I don't know.
Plus, you know, why would they need a moat? Because there is no war.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ba Sing Se, not Na Sing Se. Who needs a moat? That'd mess with their naming. Oh my gosh. Well, Brandi, we've been on here for an hour and a half, and I think it's been a blast.
That it has.
Have we got anything else that we need to talk about?
I don't think so, but like I said, I'll just keep spiraling, so...
Yay! Well, don't worry. The trauma of the next episode will stop that spiral, and it'll throw you into a completely different pit of
It's like
despair.
you don't even know me. The spiral will not stop.
It's perpetual. Had to make a 2D meme. Oh gosh, let me check the Twitter. Also, there's a hot leaf juice mug. I could not save it. The image would not save. But there is a hot tea juice mug.
A hot leaf juice?
Or hot leaf juice mug. Look it up. They sell them on Etsy. Judy Tootie. She's just freakier, man.
I don't see anything.
Hot leaf juice. Hold on.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Hot leaf juice mug.
No, I found the mug. I just didn't see the meme yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a simple one, but it's funny.
See, I'm stopping myself from like I'm picturing like this as like a movie poster, and it's like Ba Sing Se in 2D.
Yeah. If M. Night Shyamalan ever got that second movie, this.
Yeah.
It's in 2D. Which somehow you'd probably make her even more terrifying. Like, actually, you know how he has that new movie coming out that's like freaky cabin in the woods stuff? I saw a trailer for it, and I actually don't remember. Yeah. The only reason why I know that I watched it is because it was like another movie from M. Night, and I was like, well, now I know I'm not going to go see that. Exactly. As soon as they said, oh, the M. Night Shyamalan returns, I'm like,
bye.
Goodbye. I have no interest. That man is not redeemable until he fixes his avatars. And even then, I don't think I'd want him to touch it again. R2-D2.
Don't bring R2 into this. Much like Bosco, he is sacred.
Yes. Oh, Bosco. Yes, we're going to get more Bosco, and it's going to be amazing. Who knows? We might come back, next week? You got anything going on?
Not that I'm aware of.
Holy crap, are we going to do 3 weeks in a row?
Only time will tell.
we'll see, guys. Give it a forecaster's chance of coming back next week, which is actually pretty good. Avatar fans will never forget, never forgive, unless it's about the war. We forget that real fast.
What war?
There's no war. There's no movie in Ba Sing Se. There's so many. There are no live action Avatar movies in Ba Sing Se memes. I didn't even include them.
You were like, why bother?
Everyone knows. Oh man. Well, in that case, guys, that is the end of this week's episode. We'll probably be back next week if everything aligns. And yeah, let's all just grab our boxes of tissues and enjoy the episode as much as you can. The next two are rough.
They are.
Let's make sure we're in a good mental state before we go and destroy it.
No promises.
Yay! Oh my goodness. Well, as Time Prophet says, night, y'all. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in. We had Rapunzel, we had Time Prophet, we had Shadowcat, we had William, who was here for a while too, talking at the very top, dropping that like, William Jackson. Appreciate you. And yeah, thanks, y'all. I'm ready for the emotional trauma. Blend it on that. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Ah, wait. End broadcast, not leave. I almost did it again. Okay,
yeah, it would have been great.
That's just us.